Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is September 20, 2021. I want to talk about stock and option purchasing ideas for the week of September 20. So with that, let's look at TTM Squeeze indicator from John Carter and see if it's good to buy few stocks, call and call options. So with that, let's jump in here. So I've got here a few stocks. I will go through them in a little more detail. Just as a teaser, you got stocks like ABEV, CLF, GDX. All of these stocks, as you can see, have got a TTM squeeze in a daily chart or a 3-day chart or a weekly chart or a monthly chart. So what we'll do is we'll look at few of these stocks and see if it's worth buying at these levels and take it from there. So with that, let's jump in. You might wonder what is TTM squeeze and TTM wave. This is a quick 5-minute primer so you can get accustomed to TTM squeeze and wave. So as you can scan through here, I've got a daily chart, a 3-day chart, a weekly chart, and a monthly chart here. So it's very important to look at multiple time zones. So that way you look at multiple time frames, not just a daily chart. So that will give you a better perspective as you're trading. So first let's look at the daily chart here, try to understand what it's trying to tell us. So the way to read TTM squeeze and wave is first you got to look at the squeeze itself. So that's the first chart right here down. So this basically tells us, is there a red dot? If there is a red dot, that tells you it's a tight compression of volatility. Bollinger Band is within the Kelton channel. So energy has to be released either way down or up. So that tells you stock is going to shift out of its trading range and go high or low, and it has to do it very quickly. So that's the TTM squeeze indicator. Anytime there's a red sign, stock has to go up or down quickly. So as you can see here, when this red dot happened, as you scan through, stock went up pretty quickly. So that's the beauty of TTM squeeze. It's a great indicator to tell you whether the stock is going to go up or down. And then we got to look at two waves. There is a shorter term A wave. When the red dot happens, if you look at the shorter term A wave, that tells you what stock might do, whether it will go up or down. But John Carter tells us, don't pay too much attention to shorter term A wave. Instead, look at the longer term C wave. As you can see here, when the red dot happened here, longer term C wave is above zero. So that tells you the stock is going to go up, after it releases energy. That's why, as you look through here, the red dot and the longer term C wave, that tells you whether the stock will go up or down. As usual, it's not 100% guaranteed. You got to look at how the stock has done in the past. Red dot happened here. The bars are above zero here. Stock went up. So you can get a good idea by looking at few indicators whether it will go up or down. So that's the thought process around the TTM squeeze and wave. So in a nutshell, when there is a TTM squeeze indicated by red dot, that tells you there's a tight compression of volatility. And when you see next to green dot here, that tells you now the Bollinger Bands are coming out of Kelton channel, energy is ready to be released. Then you look at the longer term C wave and see if it is above zero or below zero. If it is above zero, go long. If it is below zero, go short. That's in a nutshell what's a TTM squeeze and TTM wave. I got to also have some explanation here you can read through, but let's jump in now and look at few stocks and see if it's worth buying. So from a stock list perspective, here are the top stocks with the TTM squeeze indicator fired. So as you can look through here, what I've done is I've sorted this by volume. Stock on the top, ABEV, has got the highest volume of all these stocks I've listed here, and it's got a monthly squeeze as you can see here. And I also listed the sales and sales growth. For me, it's good to look at both fundamentals and technicals so that way you make a good informed decision. So if you look at ABEV, which is stock at the top, nice sales growth. There is a 1-year growth, quarter over quarter growth, even nice gross margin. And RSI 36 tells the stock is oversold at these levels. Then we got a monthly squeeze. And as you scan through here, stock has been dropping off in 1 day, 5 day, 10 day, 1 month, 3 month. That tells you stock is oversold at these levels and still has done 20% in 1 year. So, this is the makeup of this stock here. Stock has not done great, in 1 year and 5 years it lost money. So typically, if by looking at these type of stocks, and I would normally, pass this one because historically it's not done well. But if you look through and see what a TTM squeeze might be telling us, I can take you to TTM squeeze indicator by John Carter here in Thinkorswim. So as you look through here, CLF. First, I will take you to a smaller chart here. So as you look through CLF, if I make it a little bigger here, stock has been doing okay, not great. Earnings here, stock went up a little bit. Earnings, stock took off nicely here. And as you can see right now, it's drifting off a little bit. And as that's happening, if you look at the RSI, on the balance volume, it's trending down a little bit. And right now it's, as you can look through here in the DMI chart, from a DMI perspective, it's bearish. The red line above blue line, that tells you it's bearish. And impaired wall is racing a little bit, as you can see here. IV rank is still low, 27.4 here, which is okay if you're an option buyer. With the stock so low, you could buy stock outright. And then we got here check-in money flow indicates money is flowing out. And now let's look at TTM squeeze chart quickly. As you scan through here, we got squeeze and a green dot formed here. That tells you right now, compression, the Bollinger Bands are going to come out of curtain channel. When that's happening here, we got C wave, longer term C wave above zero. That tells you it may be okay to buy Cleveland Cliff a little bit, given it's above zero. But pay attention to the color of this wave. The color is light dark blue. When the color is dark blue, that's telling you it's a little bit weak at these levels. So even though it's above zero, you can pay attention to the color, whether it's bullish or bearish. It tells you it's a little bit bearish, be a little bit cautious. So that's why it pays, it may be okay to wait a little bit instead of jumping in here. If it is solid light blue like this, I would, go buy, but now I would wait. Then as you scan through here on a weekly chart, we got here a dot formed that tells you right now there's a tight compression of volatility. When that's happening, we got here the longer term C wave above zero. That tells you from a monthly perspective, it's bullish. And as you look through weekly chart here from a weekly perspective, C wave is above zero, bullish. So what we could do in this situation is we can a little bit ignore the daily. It's above zero, but it's a little bit bearish because it's bullish in a 3-day chart and in a weekly chart. I would go long with the Cleveland Cliffs and go from there. So what we can do is we could go to option chain here. We could buy some call option for this stock here, CLF. So as you scan through here, typically when I buy call options, I would not go very short term. I would go at least in this case 123 days out. So as you scan through here, option chain, I would go delta 70 or so. Delta 73 is good enough. I could pay $6.10 and buy this call option. Expiration on 21 January. And I can pay $6.10 and buy it. If I do that, I'm paying $610, and if the stock goes above 23.10, I make money. That's my break-even point. And maximum I can lose is 610. So this is one way to play, and you can confirm and send. And you could also buy stock outright. As you can see here, you can click ask and buy the stock outright. That's the other way to play for folks who want to buy stock. And the third option could be, you want to do a spread. Stock being at 21, you could do 15-25 spread. So as example here, 15 and 25. So if I do that, there you go. So if I do 15-25 spread, I'm paying $5.48 here. And as you scan through here, I'm paying $5.48 to make $4.52. It's not quite doubling your money, but look what happened to the break-even point here. Break-even point is below the current stock price. That's why it's a little bit conservative strategy. Even though max profit is capped at 452, your break-even point has come down. That's why this is a little bit conservative strategy. You could go with this and buy this spread here. Maximum you will lose is 548 and maximum you will gain is 452. So other way to do it, if you don't want to do a $10 wide spread, you could do something a little different. So instead of 25, you could do 1727. So if you do 1727, so you are 1727. So let's go here. There you go. So if you do something like this, you are paying 440 here, and you are more than doubling your money, as you can see here. And your break-even point has gone up a little bit. Before it was 20 point something, now it's 21 point something. So it's a little more better from a risk-reward perspective. You are more than doubling your money here. You're paying 440 to make 560. And your break-even point is 21.40, just below current stock price. And maximum you can lose is 440. So you could confirm and send this and take it from there. And for the folks who don't want to spend buy a $10 widespread, you could do $5 widespread. If you want to do $5 widespread, you can do something like say 91 and 24. That's a $5 widespread. There you go. So if you do that, you're paying 231, and remaining portion of $5 is your profit potential. So if you see here, you're paying 231 to make 269. It's a good risk reward proposition here. And if you look through here, your break-even point is 21.31, just below the current stock price. You could confirm and send this. It's a low risk and capped reward type play. It makes you more than double your money, provided the stock stays above 21.31 or goes higher. So it's a good proposition here. So with that, let's look at a few more examples here. So I got here gold, same story. We've got a monthly squeeze here. Comcast, I think stock dropped off late. There's a squeeze in the daily chart. And as you can scan through here, BP, BNGO, and so on and so forth. Let's look at one or two here. As you can think through, Humana stock has fallen off like a big time. Let's see if Humana is worth buying here. Let's look at HGEN. As you scan through, we got a monthly squeeze here in Humana. So let's go back here, HGEN. So first we'll go to a bigger chart here, Humana. So as you can scan through, stock has dropped off big time, and now it's trying to get its groove back. So as you scan through here from a volume on the balance volume perspective, it's picking up. That tells you folks are interested to buy Humana at these levels, taking advantage of this big drop. And as you scan through here, RSI is also strengthening, completely oversold. And from a DMI perspective, red line above the blue line, completely bearish here. And as you scan through, volatility has raised here, 44.4. If you're a put option seller, you could make some money selling put options at lower price. But stock being so low, you could buy stock outright. And scan through here, check in money flow telling us money is flowing into the stock here. At this time, Humana looks like a good compelling story. And let's go into um, the TTM Squeeze chart here. So as you scan through quickly, nothing much in daily chart, no squeeze here, nothing in the 3-day chart. And I think a squeeze already happened in the weekly chart here. Dot 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 compression, red dots here, first green dot. When that happened, look what happening here on the longer term C wave. It's below zero. That tells you it's bearish at this time. And then we also have a dot in the monthly chart here, tells you right now tight compression of volatility, Bollinger Band is within the current channel. When this happened, as you scan through here, longer term C wave, that's above zero. So that's a bullish sign here. Even though it's a dark blue, which is a little bit bearish, I would probably take this as a contrarian. I would initiate a buy in Humana stock right here, or if you're a call option buyer, you could buy a call, maybe Delta 70 call. Only thing I would caution is because there is a high IV percentile, a little bit higher IV percentile, I would rather buy Humana stock outright versus buying the call option here. As you can scan through here, look at the implied vol IV rank 44.4. If you buy call option, you're paying a little bit higher money here. That's why I would buy stock outright given IV percentile is high. So with that, let's go into a few more here. So clean energy is one of my good stock that I trade once in a while. Let's look at clean energy. As you can see here, there is a institution buying in clean energy, and there's a daily squeeze. Let's look through and see what's going on in clean energy. All right, so clean energy, as you can see, right, nice on the balance volume. I like it. RSI is strengthening here. Right now, RSI is around 53. Then we got here DMI perspective bullish. Check in money flow indicates money is flowing into the stock. And if you go to check, and if you go to TTM squeeze here, we got a daily squeeze. When that's happening, right now it's barely bullish, 0.10, little high above the zero line here. That tells you it's bullish at this time. Look at the wave, that's curving up, that's a good sign. And shorter term A wave is above zero. That's why I would probably initiate a buy in clean energy here. Stock being at $8.08, I would buy stock outright versus doing any call option. But if you want to do call, go for a Delta 70 call. As you can scan through here, there is no other squeeze indications here. Daily squeeze, it's bullish. You could initiate a buy. So with that, let's look at one or two more here. Let's go to next chart here. Even C3AI, as you can scan through the daily squeeze here, stock has been sold off of late. Let's look at C3AI. It's a big data play. As you can scan through here, stock is kind of in the trading range for a long time here. On the balance volume is trying to raise here. And as you can scan through, right now it's barely bullish as you can scan through here. So as you see, by looking at the stock like C3AI, if you had bought call option in the past, you would lose money big time. So see here what's going on. It's pretty much in the trading range for last 3 quarters or so. So in stocks like C3AI, by looking at the chart pattern, I would not recommend buying call option because it's kind of sort of in the trading range. So when the stock is in a trading range, you'd rather do things like iron condor, butterfly, some of these range bound strategies versus buying call option outright. But you could buy stock outright and hold for a while. If you buy stock outright, you don't pay too much money in theta decay. Other good way to trade stocks like C3AI, is to sell some put option. Look, right now IV percentile is 50.9. You could sell some put option underneath the stock price and get some premium in. That's the other way to play stocks like C3AI, which is stuck in the trading range for a while. And now if you go to TTM squeeze indicator here, it's showing us there is a dot in the daily chart. So as you scan through here, when that's happening, longer term, shorter term A wave is barely above zero. That's mildly bullish, and longer term C wave is below zero. That's bearish. So right now it tells us, hey, you know what? Wait, there is no hurry. The stock might go down a little more. So I would not buy a call option. But if you're a contrarian, you could even buy some stock outright when it's down, or you can sell some put option, take advantage of this high IV percentile. So with that, let's jump in and look at one or two more. I'll go to next slide here. We got list of stocks here. One thing before I go to next page, one thing I would ask you to look at is look at institutions buying here. In many cases, there are institutions buying their own stock, BNGO, ATNX, and AMWL, Humana, and Clean Energy. So normally it pays to play along and buy with these institutions because they have a lot more information, and typically it's a good idea when the RSI is low, institutions are buying. I would buy along with the institutions and play along that way. And options buyer, pay attention to IV percentile here. As you can see here, we got IV percentile high in some cases. Could be good for you to initiate a put option selling strategy. Even Canon as an example, a little high IV percentile. But if IV percentile is low and RSI is low, look at buying call option, so that way you make money, or buying the stock outright. So with that, let's look at a few more here. We got BRFS, Cortiva, as you can scan through monthly squeeze here, and we got let's see here, Bumble. Bumble is a great stock. Right now there is a weekly squeeze. Stock has been there's a high short ratio also. Let's look at the Bumble and see what we can make out. There's a TTM squeeze indicator in the weekly chart, and there's also a high short ratio. Could be a good one to look at. So with that, let's go back to TTM squeeze here and look at the Bumble. So nice looking chart. Stock has been trading sideways for a while, as you can see here. Right now on the balance volume is positive, tells the stock, folks are interested to buy the stock at these levels. And right now it's bullish, indicated by blue line above red line. And check-in money flow is pretty okay. I mean, a little bit down here, but not bad. So with that, let's look at TTM squeeze chart here. As we scan through here, we got in the weekly chart, there is nothing much going on here. Looks like there is really no squeeze by looking through this morning. I would pass this along here because there is no squeeze. So we would pass this along and go to the next candidate here. So as we scan through, we got 3D systems. Looks like there's a daily squeeze here, and we got GSK. And as we scan through here, Danaher, same story, a squeeze here. Danaher also sold off late. And then we got FTFD, Future FinTech. Looks like there's a high short ratio, and there's a there's a squeeze in 3-day. Let's look at FTFD, Chinese stock, see what we can make out. So as we scan through here, FTFD nice on the balance volume. I like it. Right now bullish. DMI indicates blue line above red line, that's bullish. There's nice check-in money flow, pretty stable here. With that, if you let's go to squeeze chart here. Squeeze chart indicates the daily squeeze, and when that's happening, look through the longer term C wave. Longer term C wave is negative at this time, so this is a indication that, hey, you know what, wait, don't buy right now. And as you scan through here, there is no squeeze. There is a squeeze forming in the weekly chart, and same story, it's negative. The C wave, long term C wave is negative, so it tells you wait, don't jump in. We'll pass this up also and go to few more candidates here. I also love BioCrys BCRX. Looks like there's a squeeze in 1-day chart as well as a weekly chart here. Let's look at BioCrys here and see what we can make out. All right, so as you can scan through, it's a nice looking chart here. I like it. Let's make it a little bigger. And stock is trying to go up, as you can see here. Two nice green candles here. Nice on the balance volume, like it. And bullish, right now it's a bullish crossover in the DMI chart. That's also good. And look at check-in money flow. Money is flowing into BioCrys here. So that's a good indication. Low IV percentile, low, I mean, not very low, it's okay, mid RSI levels. So with that, let's jump into squeeze chart here. Squeeze in the daily chart, longer term C wave is above zero, coast is clear, even shorter term A wave is above zero. Squeeze in a 3-day chart here. When that happened, longer term C wave is above zero, even though it's a dark blue indicating a little bit weaker here. Squeeze forming in a weekly chart here. When that's happening, longer term C wave is above zero. So here also coast is clear. I would probably buy some BioCrys at these levels and go from there. So stock is at $15. You could buy stock outright, or if you want to play options game, you could go to options chart here, BCRX. I would typically go 123 days out here. I would buy Delta 70 call. So as you can scan through Delta 73, that's good enough. I would just buy this outright. So if you do that, you're paying $430. If the stock goes above 17.30, you will break even. And if you want to play option spread game, you could also buy a spread. Stock being at $15.70. You could do multiple things. You could do a $5 spread or a $10 spread, even either way. Stock has gone as high as 18.48 in say 1 year's time. So you could do a $5 spread in this case, because we don't see the stock going too high in 52-week high. So with that, let's look at what we can do here. Stock being 15.70, I could do 13 and 18 spread. So that will be $15 is somewhere in the midpoint. So let's look at 13, 18 here. There you go. So we are paying $2 for the spread. Remaining $3 is our profit potential. Double your money type play here. Confirm and send. You're paying $203 to make $207. So it's a good proposition here. And break-even point is now below current stock price. So that's why it's a conservative strategy. And your max profit is capped at 207. So I like this. I would confirm and send this. And next, let's look at a few more here. Next page, we got a few more. As you can skim through here, I got weekly squeeze here in few stocks, ARCC, DXC, and monthly squeeze here. And just look through here. I think I like few of these stocks. Even Sienna, I love Sienna. It's a great company into optical networking. And you can scan through, play along. Even I like Fate. Fate is a great biotech stock. as you can scan through, Fate also has a high short ratio here. You could look at doing some options strategy in Fate. Probably a call option spread would do nicely, or even a call. And CCXI is one of my favorite here. Stock has been going up off late after dropping big time. As you scan through here, there's a both a 1-day squeeze as well as a 3-day squeeze. Could be a good one to buy. And then as you scan through, I got a few more here. We got squeeze, as you can see through EMLC. There is a 3-day squeeze as well as a monthly squeeze here. So these are the good candidates to look at. I've highlighted a few rows for you in either a green background or a gray background. Those are the good candidates that you can look at. Typically strong from a fundamental perspective. And with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.